14th Annual Judicial Officer Award Ceremony. We are happy you all can join us at this happy occasion to honor this year's awardees. Tonight we'll be honoring the Honorable Ingrid Uhler, Judicial Officer of the Year. We'll be honoring the Honorable Arthur Harrison, Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award. And we'll also be honoring local family law attorney Joyce Holcomb with the Mitchell Roth Service Award. Before I introduce our special guest and go further in the program, I'm going to ask my nephew Rory Daly to come up for our Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand? Flag.
Good evening. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If I can, I would like to first recognize our judges that are in attendance tonight. We have, by the way, this is the largest Judicial Officer of the Year attended event in our history. So thank you, everyone. I guess when you honor great people, people will come out and see you. For the judges in attendance, we have the Honorable Kimberly Paulu. And my notes do say hold your applause, but I say, what the heck? We're honoring judges, right? Sorry, Lindsay, I gotta cut that out. The Honorable Walter Bellinger. The Honorable Kyle Brody. The Honorable Carlos Cabrera. The Honorable Michael Camber. The Honorable Dan Buchanan. The Honorable John Ferguson. The Honorable Janet Franchi.
Thank you. I have 2 jobs.
The Honorable Janet Garcia Rodrigo. One of our honorees tonight, the Honorable Martha Harrison. The Honorable Michael Dish. The Honorable Carl Hudson. The Honorable Winston Key. The Honorable Corey Lee. The Honorable Bridget McCann. The Honorable John Wynn. The Honorable Lynn Ponson. The Honorable Tara Riley. Oh, I really wanted to say that as an Irish bro. The Honorable Tara Riley. Honorable Aruna Rodrigo. The Honorable Lisa Rogan. The Honorable Wilford Schneider Jr. The Honorable Felicia Smith. The Honorable Gregory Cabell. The Honorable Charles Umeda. The Honorable John Vanderveer. The Honorable Katrina West. The Honorable Joseph Whiteman. Our presiding judge, the Honorable Glenn Bruno. Judge Bruno, I was looking at which judges clapped harder, maybe looking for a transfer. I saw Terry Holscher like clapping like a maniac. Commissioner Carrie Holcomb. When Carrie was the deputy DA, she was like kryptonite to me. I could never win a case against her. So I'm glad she's on the bench. And Commissioner Geraldine Wong Williams. We have some elected officials and representatives of elected officials tonight. We have Kurt Lewis on behalf of Pete Aguilar. I don't want to be political tonight, but Pete Aguilar is doing an amazing job in Congress, a good Redlands guy, and I'm super proud of him. San Bernardino Mayor John India, where's John? We have some past presidents of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association here tonight. Angelique Bernardino, Angelique. Charles Daskal, Daskal's here. Our second dean and our leader on the event committee, Dean McVeigh. My dear friend and former study group partner, Diane Hartog. Fernando Vargas. Justin King. Randy Hanna. And Will Morgan. From our sister organization, the San Bernardino County Bar Association, we have past bar president Bill Shapiro. We have Tom Dominic. And we also have University of Laverne College of Law students and faculty. We have Dean Marshall. Thank you for being here, everyone. We have some past Western San Bernardino County Bar Association Judicial Officer of the Year. The Honorable John Ferguson. And the Honorable Janet Frangie. One of our Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award winners over here, the Honorable Tara Riley. We also have several past Jennifer Brooks Lawyer of the Year recipients here, including Ricardo Echeverria, my sister-in-law Michelle Daly, Marvin Burnett, and so I can introduce the right way, one of my best friends, the world mentor, most loyal guy you'll ever meet, Bill Shapiro. We have the Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Charles Daskal. Service Award winner, Connie Hall. Legal Assistant, Connie Johnson. I would also take this opportunity because being able to feed everybody, we have to be able to sell tickets and sell sponsorships. And the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association has some of the most loyal sponsors of any bar association. So I'd like to thank our guidance sponsors first. Officer David M. Goldstein. Officer James McGee. Officer Joyce Holcomb. The June Wright of our LLP. Rizio and Lipinski. Sherman Bedard and Echeverria LLP. Five-member Officer William B. Shapiro. Gold sponsors, Bolton, Lemon, Schaefer, and Dominic. The offices of Fernando D. Vargas. Anybody gets a chance to see Fernando tonight? He's been working out, lost a ton of weight. He's right over there at that table will tell you his secret. He's got about 50 pounds. And he looks great. Thank you, Fernando. Louis Bridgeway, Discard, and Smith. LLP, and always sponsoring us is Wendy and Charlotte Brooks in honor of Jennifer. Silver sponsors, Everest Legal Marketing, Follow Our Courts, Officer Brian Brandt, Officer Justin H. King, Officer Randall P. Hanna, Officer Taylor D. Warner, Professional Law Corporation, Matthew L. Taylor, Receiver and Position Referee, Consulting Group of Court Reporters, Paris Firm, Eric E. Paris, who's like to call him And by the way, he said he will challenge anyone in this room to a pickleball match in the desert, like you. Ron sponsors, Honorable Jenna M. Franchi, Honorable Kyle Burley, Officer Angela Fernando, Officer Diane Bartog, Officer Lucia A. Ford, University of Missouri College of Law, Will Wooten, Deputy Attorney, Will. By the way, if Will was not seeing this, we'd still be on the first page. That guy takes forever. Other sponsors are Darlene Scafidi, Floral Centerpieces, Laurel Stark Realty Group and Wine. At this time, I'll ask everyone, we're going to recess for a few minutes so we can enjoy their salad and meal, and we'll get our program started right after that. Thank you. We'd like to start the awards portion of our program. And it's my honor to introduce, and talk about the Mitchell Roth Service Award. Mitchell Roth was a well-established and respected probate attorney in the Inland Empire who gave his time and energy not only to the practice of law, but also to helping selflessly with respect to the needs of the court and the legal community. He also generously served on the board of directors of the Western Seminole County Bar Association for over 25 years. By the way, complaining every year. Every year. Dave Golson's shaking his head because he knows that's true. Favorite word was mensch. He promoted and established our SBCBA Service Award for individuals in our legal community who stand out above the rest and go beyond the call of duty. Our hearts are sorrowful with the loss of our great colleague who left us all too early. In recognition of Mitchell, the Western Seminole County Bar Association is proud to rename this prestigious award to the Mitchell Roth Service Award. Now that's the official designation, okay? But I can tell you right now, everyone in this room that really knows Mitchell, whether they're lawyer wife, lawyer husband, knows that Mitch never would want an award named after him because he was so humble. And but those of us who love Mitch, really love him. We thought this was a great way to honor just an amazing human being. So the best of the best in giving back to our community are always going to be honored with the Mitchell Roth. At this time, I'd like to bring up Toby Bowler to talk about tonight's recipient. Welcome, Toby.
Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and it's really wonderful to see so many people I haven't seen in a long time because we're kind of isolated in separate buildings now, and that's always a thrill. I want to congratulate Judge Uhler on her prestigious award that she's receiving tonight, and of course I want to congratulate Judge Harrison for the award that he's receiving. We're going to miss you, Judge Harrison. You've done a wonderful job and put in some really dedicated hours in our area of practice, and we appreciate that. In fact, we know that one award name has been changed tonight, but you probably don't know that The award that Judge Harrison is receiving has also been changed. That's going to be called, because he's been in family law for so many years, that's going to be called the Two Lifetime Achievement Award. A few weeks ago, I was very honored and flattered when Joyce asked me to speak tonight. And she knows, I thought it was going to be a surprise, but apparently my son Sean, my partner, spoiled the surprise. She knows that I'm giving up a very important moment tonight. I had an opportunity to go roast Brian Billick, the Super Bowl coach of the Baltimore Ravens, Super Bowl 35, I believe, but Joyce is a hell of a lot more important than Brian Billick, I'll tell you that.
Good job, Toby.
Most of you probably don't know that Joyce and I go actually way back, probably further back than we want to admit. In September of 1994, she came to work for our firm in a very important position, and I wasn't doing the hiring because somebody else had more talent than I did in that area. And my longtime office manager, Donna Green, who just retired after 35 years with me, she's the one that hired Joyce. And I first met Joyce, and you know that old thing about first impressions? This girl made a huge first impression. She was going to school at that time. She had sent us a letter, which I think is pretty interesting, and what's more interesting, we still have the darn thing. And the letter said, and this is August 28th of 1994, it says, I have aspirations of becoming an attorney. And from the moment that we met and until she became admitted to the bar, that aspiration never died down one bit, not one bit. And it's been a pleasure to watch her grow and develop, and she's done a lot of things along the way. And by the time she was admitted to the bar, she probably had more family law experience than most lawyers do after 5 years of practice, because of the work that she did with the people that she worked for. Now, some of that experience wasn't always legally related. There was a day, and I wasn't sure of the day, but Joyce and I and my son Sean, we've laughed about this quite a bit. There was a day, and it happens to be, because we have her mileage reimbursement charts, it happened to be May 12th of 1995. And her entry that day says Sean's school. So what happened was his mother was on a field trip with my oldest son, and Sean's #1 academic aspiration was to figure out how to get out of school before school was dismissed. And he must have caught wind that Mom and Austin were long gone, and guess who he called? He called the office, and the only person there to do anything about it was Joyce. And Joyce went and picked up Sean. They didn't come back immediately. In fact, the mileage charge, I was looking at it today and I go, I really got ripped off. It's 46 miles. And as it turns out, I talked to Sean tonight, and Sean's the president of the organization that's doing the Brian Billick roast tonight, so he can't be here. He wanted to be here. But he says they had a Nug Fest. And I said, what in the world is a Nug Fest? And he said, well, we went to McDonald's and we had a bunch of chicken McNuggets. So, that's one of Joyce's rare duties. She continued on with Kim West and Ken Howe, and then of course she and Kim formed the firm of Holcomb and Howe. And I have watched Joyce through the years, and when I first met her, I would have to say that she was engaging, she was smart, she was competent, that developed after she was with us immediately, professional, focused, and extremely kind. But she was also very capable, so don't get in her way, because she's going to accomplish what she sets out to do, but she's going to have a smile on her face when she does it. I have watched her practice. I have had many cases with and against her. She is an outstanding lawyer. She's a certified family law specialist. This award tonight is special to her, I can assure you, and it's special not only because of the fact that it recognizes all of the service that she has given to the community and to our legal community, to the bar. She is our go-to person. We have an issue in the family law courts. We need the the brass to take care of it, we go to Joyce and say, Joyce, we have an issue, and she organizes it and gets it done. She has put in hours and hours of time in the service, but it's also special, and I won't steal her thunder. It's special tonight because of her relationship with Mitchell Roth. And so I know this means a lot to her, and it means a lot that there are so many people here tonight, and it's just an amazing turnout for a bar event, which oftentimes are not well attended. So big hand to you for this turnout. Through it all, and sometimes the practice of law beats you up a little bit, and sometimes family law beats you up a little bit more than others. But through it all, Joyce has maintained those same qualities and characteristics that I fell in love with the first time I met her. She is extremely professional. She is extremely competent. She remains extremely focused. And more importantly, she remains extremely kind. So it's my pleasure to be here tonight, Joyce, and I just congratulate you, and you deserve it so much.
Thank you, Toby. We have a second friend of Joyce and local family attorney that's going to speak a little about Joyce, Angelique Bernardino. So Angelique, can you come up? Angelique has a birthday. I think she's going to happy birthday. All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angelique. Happy birthday to you.
How can I swallow that? I'm not here to take your thunder, okay? Congratulations, what a turnout tonight. My gosh, this is one of our largest turnouts for our organization to date. I've been on this bar association for about 15 years, and to be able to see all these faces and to see all the family on the faces is just absolutely fantastic. I wanted to just say a couple of words about this award and about Joyce. Some years ago, the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association established this award. It was really the brainchild of our friend Mitchell Roth. And he said, we have to give some type of recognition to the people that give service to our community. And we talked about it, and as a board, we decided that we were going to go ahead and we were going to establish this award. When we lost Mitchell, it was absolutely devastating. But shortly thereafter, the governing board of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association unanimously voted that we would rename this award, and we would call it the Mitchell Roth Service Award. I am really, truly deeply honored to be able to stand before you and say a few words about Joyce. I know that this award is particularly close to her heart because she was indeed probably one of the best friends of Mitchell Roth. And so it is really my pleasure that we are here tonight and that the award has been renamed and that you are receiving it, and it is so deserving. Many years ago, I was putting together some type of an event for the Western San Bernardino Bar Association. It was probably a continuing education course or something along those lines. And I went to Commissioner Gassner, and I said, you know what, can you maybe give me some guidance, tell me what I should do? I was kind of new on the board at the time. And he said, you have to go talk to Joyce Holcomb. She knows everyone, and she gets things done. And wow, was he right. So, many years go by, and I've known her now for, I don't even know, and I won't say because I just got a big birthday song and I don't want to date myself. But having known Joyce for many, many years, I can say to you without any type of reservation, she is unbelievably deserving of this award. She gives up her time and of her talents endlessly to a variety of different organizations. She spends countless hours volunteering. She volunteers her time to the Legal Aid Society of San Bernardino County, and she's actually their current president. She is affiliated with the San Bernardino County Bar Association. She's on the Family Law, she's the Family Law Chair, and she's also on the Board of Directors of the East-West Family Law Council. And aside from all of these things that she does, she runs her own practice, and she is a boss. Now, some people in this room also know another name that we call her. I cannot say it here tonight. Those in the know, but you are my friend. She is unbelievably supportive and an advocate of the indigent. She's kind, she's generous, she's helpful, she's bright, she's well-spoken, and man, does she have a wicked sense of humor. I can tell you, I have been on the phone with her for hours. We'll have philosophical discussions, we'll talk about legal issues, we'll talk about just about anything, and I'll be in stitches. I have to get off the phone and give myself a moment because I am bending over laughing with that wicked, wicked sense of humor. Several years ago, she came to me and she said that she needed some help for a friend. And I was unbelievably touched that she could have chosen anyone in the community to help her friend. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And it became one of the most important cases in my office because not only did I want to help her friend, I didn't want to let you down. So, for tonight, I want you to please recognize and know she has an extremely successful private practice aside from all of the volunteer that she does, and she seeks nothing in return. She will give you her friendship, she will give you her time, she will give you the sweater off her back and ask for nothing in return. When you talk with her and you're having a conversation with her, she makes you feel as though you're the only person in the room. That's who she is. You deserve this award, my friend. Sorry. Congratulations.
Thank you, Angelique. Before I ask Joyce to come up here, I just want to do one follow-up comment that Angelique talked about. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Joyce took over the reins as president of the Legal Aid Society of San Bernardino about a year and a half ago now, right? A year and a half ago, and helped usher us to a new era in our board and our organization. The Legal Aid Society of San Bernardino is nearing 60 years old, and what Angelique didn't tell you, that Joyce is the first woman president in the 60 years. First woman president. Many firsts with Joyce. She is an amazing person, an amazing woman. And if I could give my dear friend one thing, just for one time, it would be that you get a 10:30 p.m. call from Mitchell Roth. If I had one wish, that's what I wish for you. We love you dearly, Joyce. It's my honor, great honor, that's my dear friend, Joyce Holcomb, to come up and receive her award.
Wow. I would like to first start and thank the Western Bar Association for this award. I would also like to thank Mike Scafidi, Toby Bowler, and Angelique Bonanno for your kind words. I would also like to thank, or to congratulate the other honorees, Judge Harrison and Judge Uhler, for tonight. I also would like to acknowledge all of my friends and colleagues that came out. You took your time this evening to come see me receive this award. And this is an emotional time for me because Mitch was my best friend. And we had a pact. And that pact was, we service the community, but we don't do it for an award. And if ever we were going to be nominated to receive an award, we would turn it down. Well, the joke's on me tonight, because I know that Mitch is somewhere in heaven, and he orchestrated for you to name it the Mitchell Roth Award, and for me to be the first recipient, and how could I say no to that? So, Mitch, thank you. Although I'm standing here tonight, I want to dedicate this award to my mom and dad who are here. My parents have absolutely been amazing. I'm their only child. They spoiled me rotten. I had a great childhood, but they also gave me balance. As much as they spoiled me, they made me work. They made me learn a work ethic. My mom would make me go to senior citizens' homes, and you know, I had chubby cheeks, so my cheeks by the end of the day were just absolutely red. She also made sure that I would feed the transient and the homeless, and that I had a kind heart. It was important to my family that all that they gave to me, that I also gave back. It is extremely, I'm just so honored that I can have my two families, my family and my work family, here today. I also have to dedicate this award to my husband. Oh, he's not going to like this part. I appreciate you every day because, you know, I kind of walk to my own drum. And you give me the freedom and the luxury to do, not only run my practice, but also to do my community service work, and he doesn't complain. And the only time he tells me no is if it's not in my personal best interest. He will set aside his own personal interest to make sure that I'm number one, and for that, I love him. And Toby, you taught me so much. Thank you. Although you were the second law office I worked for, I worked for someone else before, Paget Price. But Toby really spent time, and he was like family. And when I started practicing law, he didn't treat me any differently. Ken Howell was my partner for many years. He's not here with us tonight, but he also was part of my foundation in allowing, he called me, he sent me right out there and he said, go do it. And if I wanted to do something, he never said no. And Ken, I miss you. I am so honored to receive the Mitchell Roth Award. He left us far too soon. During his legal career, he was the one who was the conduit between the court and the attorneys. And I actually met Mitchell on a complex litigation case. And Mitch and Matt Shevke said, you're not going to settle this. You are the seventh attorney representing your client. And I said, well, give me a moment. Within 20 minutes, I had it settled. And they were shocked. All I had to do was explain the case to her and explain this is what you're entitled to, this, you're not getting anything more. And we settled it. So about a week later, Mitch called me and he said, hey, can we go have lunch? And it was the most interesting lunch because we talked about the three no's. We talked about politics, we talked about religion, and we talked about racism. And it was, at that time, we became instant friends. As Mike mentioned, I am now the president of Legal Aid Society, and I am so proud. Mike was my predecessor, and he did a lot of work, and he makes my job easier. I know that I can call Mike or Bill Shapiro if I need help, and Bill Lemon, I don't know if you're in the room, but Bill's also someone that I called. And it has been absolutely rewarding to serve people who are underprivileged, underrepresented, and there's no greater feeling than to do so. I want to thank you all personally for thinking of me and allowing me to serve as the first recipient of the Mitchell Roth Award.
Thank you, Joyce, for those great words. Just before we go on to our next awardee, Legal Aid just hosted on March 7th a gala, a fundraiser, and grossed $140,000 for the less fortunate community. Certainly, that's how the important is. At this time, we're going to be presenting the Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award to the Honorable Arthur Harrison. The Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award honors a current or retired, and I guess nearly retired, commissioner, judge, Court of Appeals Justice from San Diego County, Eastern Los Angeles County, or Riverside County, who is recognized as having a reputation for and commitment to judicial excellence, has achieved a significant length of service as a judicial officer, and has demonstrated a long-term, consistent, and significant contribution to the betterment of the judiciary and the public it serves. Think about those words. Everyone in this room is serving in some capacity. But think about those words, the length of time, the betterment of the judiciary and the public it serves. Our bench officers do serve the public. That's how you seek justice. At this time, I'm going to invite Kurt Lewis on behalf of Congressman Pete Aguilar to come up and present a resolution. And I think what we'll do is, after you say your words, maybe we go down so we take some pictures right next to the judge. Thank you. Kurt Lewis, Pete Aguilar's office.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be here and to witness such an outpouring of affection so early in the evening. My goodness, I'm going to have to hang around this with the night hold. So it's going to be good. I think this is a very historic moment for us all. This morning we witnessed the confirmation of the first African American woman to the highest court in the land. Very respectful. And now we're here together to honor some of the outstanding jurists in our community, and I have the pleasure of doing so. Thank you so much, Pete. Bradley couldn't be here this evening. But as the grants coordinator for Congressman Aguilar, my role is to help organizations, nonprofits, and governments find federal funding to help them carry on their activities. The last few years have been really difficult for a lot of nonprofits, but I am so pleased to tell you that I know of a lot of people in this room that have helped fill the breach for nonprofit organizations. You stood by, you provided your services, and you helped them and the people that they serve. Specifically, let me just mention Joyce. Legal Aid has been very helpful providing webinars, research on rental relief programs, and making sure that people understood what they needed to know and what their rights and their responsibilities were. Thank you so much for that. And Judge Harrison, I just want to thank you for your lifetime of public service and leadership in this industry. Your colleagues have followed your lead, and I'm sure that as you go on, you will still continue to provide services, and you will continue to contribute to the betterment of our community. Thank you so much. And we, on behalf of Congressman Aguilar, couldn't make it this evening, but we do have this certificate we'd like to present to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have an opportunity to read this, if it's okay with you, Judge. This reads, as a certificate additional recognition presented to the Honorable Arthur Harrison, San Bernardino County Superior Court, in honor and recognition of your achievement of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association's 13th Annual Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award. May you continue to contribute to the betterment of our community by reflecting the highest values of public leadership and public service, dated the 7th day of April, 2022. Pete Aguilar, Member of Congress.
We also have, I believe, is the mayor here yet? Senator Mayor John Valdivia. I knew he was running late, so I don't think he made it. So at this time, I can present, on behalf of our Senator Dianne Feinstein, a severe appreciation for you being honored as Judicial Lifetime Judge. Also, there's a proclamation from the City of Rancho Cucamonga honoring you tonight for this great achievement. And also, there is a resolution by San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors on your behalf. So if we can have you come up. Okay, so now we're going to have some speakers come up and talk about Judge Harrison. I heard some laughs from his table. Are we doing a roast? I'll ask Attorney Christine James to come up. Christine James.
Well, good evening, and congratulations, Judge Harrison. First, let me start by saying it's amazing to be here tonight, and congratulations to all of the award recipients. I'm a family law attorney, for those of you who do not know me, and Judge Harrison was actually one of the first judges I appeared in front of ever in my career. So that first experience had an everlasting effect on me. This is the nerves of being a brand new attorney, and on my way to the courthouse, I had probably practiced saying my name at least 100 times. Finally get there, it's 8:30 a.m., and it is showtime. I'm the first case that is called, and I get up to counsel table, I'm standing there shaking in my heels, and at 8:30 a.m., the first words that come out of my mouth are, "Good afternoon, Your Honor." Regardless of my little hiccup, I ended up winning on the request for order. So after that, Judge Harrison became a favorite of mine. And it wasn't just because he was courteous enough to refrain from pointing out that I did not even know what the time of day was. But obviously, he knew what he was doing because I won. So fast forward, some months later, it's 5:30 p.m. now, and I have just pulled into the parking lot at the University of Laverne for an MCLE that the East-West Family Law Council was putting on. And up next to me pulls a motorcycle and a man in a leather jacket and a helmet. Takes the helmet off, and oh my word, it was Judge Harrison. I was shocked because I knew he was a cool judge. I just didn't know he was that cool. And so at this time, I'm still pretty new, and we make some eye contact. And at 5:30 p.m., I'm standing in the parking lot, and all that is coming to my mind is to say, "Good morning, Your Honor." So Judge Harrison has an extraordinary judicial temperament. He never loses his cool. He's an intelligent judge, and he always makes a decision on the evidence. He's notably courteous. I think he's equally courteous to pro per litigants, just as he is to attorneys. Although it is noteworthy that he does call attorney cases first. And so thank you for that. It's always been a nice privilege. And it has been a privilege to appear before Judge Harrison over the years. You will definitely be missed. You served truly with distinction. I wish you all the best in your future. Congratulations on your retirement and all of your many achievements. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our second speaker, where is she? Is Angelique Barno, and she just had a birthday. I don't know if everyone knows that. Big birthday. Big birthday.
39.
39.
Well, good evening again. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. It is really my honor and my privilege tonight to be able to say a couple of words with respect to Judge Harrison. Mike Scafidi has given us some information with regards to the basis for this type of award, and it is incumbent upon me to also mention we don't give this award out every year. We only give it out when we have a candidate that comes before us that is truly worthy. This year we had such a candidate, Judge Harrison. The Bar Association takes great responsibility in terms of identifying who worthy candidates are. I've been in a variety of different meetings where we've had very lively debate over who is worthy, and I can tell you that we take this responsibility very, very seriously because we want to ensure that our organization is recognizing those that really are the best of the best. Tonight, we bestow that Best of the Best Lifetime Achievement Award to one of my favorite judges, Judge Harrison. I've known Judge Harrison for many years. I've appeared before him countless times. I couldn't even tell you how many times. And I can tell you every time that I've ever been in his department, he has been patient, considerate, thoughtful, fair. He takes the time to listen. He is engaging. And he always comes to a final decision after very, very careful thought. He has been on the bench for, I believe, 22 years, if I have done my math correctly.
21 in a few months.
21 in a few months. I was giving you some extras. But his last assignment was on the family law bench, and I cannot tell you how fortunate the family law bar was to have him with his final assignment. Judge Harrison has been a champion for the family law for as long as I've known him. He would regularly attend our East-West Family Law Council organizations, and from time he would speak as well. Sometimes he would just attend the meeting and show his support for the Bar Association. He's also spoken for the National Business Institute, and I was fortunate enough to be the moderator on one of the recent MCLE programs that he put forward. And what he did in that particular MCLE was he bestowed upon those attendees insight into what a judicial officer is looking for and what they're thinking, what they consider when they're faced with a particular legal issue, and then information to teach us lawyers, literally and simply, how to do it better. It was a phenomenal presentation that he gave. There's a lot of things that I'd like to talk about tonight, and I had a big long list of what I wanted to say, including the very interesting elevator rides with Judge Harrison in the morning. If I happened to catch the same elevator with him, and he would have his motorcycle helmet under his arm, and he'd be fixing his motorcycle helmet hair, and we'd ride the elevator up because that's how the historic courthouse is, that we have this separate secret entrance for the lawyers down below, and then the judges get on the first floor. And every once in a while you get an opportunity to ride with the judge. And he was always pleasant and kind and good morning, and it was just always a pleasure. And I could tell you some other stories, But I thought my time here tonight would really be better spent with telling you that I know everything I absolutely need to know about Judge Harrison because I got it from his staff. Here is what his staff has said. He is the most caring judge I've ever worked for. He is patient. He lets everyone be heard. He is considerate. He is caring. He is kind. He is thoughtful. He remembers and acknowledges birthdays, special days, and holidays for the staff. He is generous, no wait, overly generous to the staff. He's funny. Apparently there are a variety of funny stories out there that are off the record, I'm not allowed to talk about, and I didn't get them all shared with me when I was talking with the staff. He is remarkably humble. Their words. He is amazing. He's the best person I've ever worked for. He leads by example. There's almost nothing he would not do for his staff. There is almost nothing his staff would not do for him. We are like family. I also found out some really interesting additional information about Judge Harrison. He's an animal lover. He rehabilitates birds, rabbits, ducks, and I found out tonight, possum. His staff would wish that he would bring those animals into the courthouse, but apparently that hasn't happened as yet. He's very family-oriented. He will be a grandfather again in just a couple of days. Congratulations. He loves to rollerblade. Who wouldn't want to see that? I want to see that. I love it. He loves boating. He's a helicopter pilot. He scuba dives. And on Fridays, in Department 54, in his chambers, they participate in Fatty Friday, where the staff indulges with treats, sweets, and goodies. I think it started as Fit Friday and then it changed to Fatty Friday. Perhaps the most important thing that I can say about Judge Harrison is the information really that I did receive from the staff. And when we were talking about it, each one of them at one point in time or another started to well up about his impending retirement. He is truly going to be missed. I'm so honored to give this award here tonight. I can say the family law bench simply will not be the same once he retires. And we, the bar, will miss him as he has become part of our family. On behalf of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association, I'm so pleased and honored to have an opportunity to speak, and I'm so honored that you have this award tonight. Congratulations, Judge Harrison.
Before I ask Judge Harrison to come on up, I have to tell Ms. James, I appreciated your story of you winning a motion in front of Judge Harrison. I've been practicing law 25 years, and you have a better record of winning motions with Judge Harrison than I do, I can assure you. Although I can say that about a lot of judges out here, to be honest. Judge Harrison, it is really my honor, and on behalf of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association, I'd like you to come up and present you with this wonderful award.
My turn. I'm so honored to be up here sharing the spotlight with the two wonderful women that we're sharing it with tonight. To have all the colleagues, the lawyers that work in front of me, everybody, my staff, my family, it means so much to me. We do want to make some introductions briefly. If you could raise your hands. My brother Steve is here, his wife Dory. my wife Diane over here, and our daughter Desiree. I hate to use the term, but we're going to circle back to the two of them just now. My staff is here. Teresa Hyde, Sherry Tucker, they talked about my being giving to the staff. Consider it bribe money. They are my face when I'm not in the courtroom. They present a pretty good face. I'm proud of them, all of them. Whoever inherits my staff is going to inherit a good crew, every one of them. The fact of the matter is, I've been very lucky. I've been prepared to step through doors when they open. Bide your time, be prepared, and those doors will open. They allowed me to progress from deputy marshal a few years ago, sergeant, to a district attorney, to a judge. And I really am fortunate in doing so. I feel fortunate to be here in front of the previous award recipients in this matter. I remember attending one for Janet Frangie here, Judge Frangie, that Angelique Bonanno also spoke at. I was just impressed with what a wonderful job she did at that. I'm still impressed. I don't want to talk about myself. I prefer to talk about others. And quite frankly, right down to it, I think you all understand that if we were to use the analogy of our dinner, I'm the side dish to the entrees, these two wonderful women. Now, as far as Joyce goes, I really can't talk to you about what I feel about Joyce. No, really, I can't. I still have a case pending with her. I think that would be an implied bias or some such thing, I feel. So we'll come back to that in a moment. When Judge Uhler was appointed, she came out of Los Angeles County as a deputy district attorney. I had no idea who she was and didn't for years, but I kept hearing these people talk about what a wonderful judge Judge Uhler is. And that's been my experience. I had the benefit of supervising the Fontana courthouse, and she worked there. You really don't supervise judges. You get out of their way, you try to make their life easier, let them do the business of judging as a supervisor. You are kind of between the clerk's office and the judges, that sort of thing. And Judge Uhler is probably one of the finest people, one of the finest judges I've ever met. And I've met some really, really good ones. And we have a number of really, really good ones here in this audience tonight. I'm proud to be part of that. It's come time for me to leave that. In fact, when they first talked about this award, what I didn't hear was the Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award. And I thought, Lifetime Achievement Award, that's kind of like a eulogy, isn't it? I'm not ready to give up. My dad turned 99 last month. He has an engagement in September. Hopefully he's not overly optimistic for that engagement. He'll be a parade grand marshal. All things going well. But the point being is the genetics are there. I'm going to be around a long time. I'm not giving up, and you will all hear from me again, I suspect. I will miss all of the attorneys, the various people that I've worked with over the years. Probation officer is here. I haven't seen her for years. She came out tonight. I appreciate that. I'm a little bit tearing up because of the leaving what's familiar. My wife Diane retired last month of the year last year. So she's looking forward to me being home and doing some of the things around the house that I should be doing, given way to second place for a long time. But I absolutely intend to be very active, Judicial Achievement Award, yeah, that's accurate. I don't intend to be a judge anymore. But so many people have helped me to be where I'm at today. Like I said, I took advantage of some doors opening, that sort of thing. If you look at the program, you can see I've done a lot of things. We are a product of what we experience in life. We're a product of the individuals that we surround ourselves with. And as a judge, I've been able to surround myself with some pretty miraculous people. A couple other things I want to talk about. I want my daughter Desiree to stand up if you would. For Desiree and a big round for Alice, who is not yet out, but she's with us. So Judge Uhler, I can't say enough of good things about her. She's just fantastic. She's an inspiration. She's wonderful. And certainly deserving of the award she's getting tonight. Joyce, I'm not going to say a whole lot about her, partly for the reason I mentioned, but another aspect. Daniel, if you'd stand up, please. Look at this guy. He's a big guy. You can sit down, Daniel. I want them to know how big you are. Joyce, once upon a time, not too long ago, had an encounter with my son-in-law, Daniel. A brief encounter. She was a victim of a mugging. We don't have muggings out here. I guess we have armed robberies or strong arm robberies, that sort of thing. And Joyce was the unfortunate victim of such an event. Daniel was a young police officer in the city of Redlands. He got called to the scene. He talked to her a bit, got in the car and drove around. I think they've had other officers there at the time. And a little while later, he drives back with the suspect in the back seat of his car. He had this description. He kept his eyes out. He went and encountered the individual. And it was a very, I assure you, this is a very peaceful arrest. I mean, if he told me to turn around and put my hands behind my back, I would do so. This young man did the same thing. But he made a mistake when he picked Joyce as a victim. There was a very peaceful arrest that occurred, so I'm not quite sure if Daniel had to log in injuries on the suspect. The circumstance is Joyce had a designer bag, and the fellow wanted that designer bag. She kept that designer bag. I don't know if she inflicted injuries upon him or not, but Daniel could probably tell us more about that. Joyce has always been tenacious. I can say that. She has always made the opposition attorney work for whatever comes. She's prepared. And no matter whether she is on the losing side of an issue or not, she's been tenacious in representing her client. She's a true professional. We certainly appreciate that when we're on the bench. And we appreciate Joyce and Angelique, and I could name the rest of the attorneys in this building, this room, and it would be very sincere. Family law attorneys are a little bit of a different breed. They have to work very hard for what they do. Not that criminal lawyers don't, but it's just a different ballgame. And I really enjoy seeing the practitioners of criminal law here tonight. It's just a fantastic feeling for me and all of my colleagues that I'm so impressed with. We're a product of what we've done. We're a product of people we associate with, and I've associated with some of the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
before we get to Judge Uhler and our Judicial Officer of the Year Award, I just checked with Daniel, because I was going to make a G.I. Jane 2 joke. I didn't want him to jump up and oh my butt. I wanted to make sure he didn't have any medical condition. Thank you, Daniel. Our Judicial Officer of the Year, Judge Ingrid Uhler. The Judicial Officer of the Year Award is an annual award which honors current and retired judges, Commissioner, Court of Appeals Justice from San Bernardino County, Eastern Los Angeles County, or Riverside County, who has demonstrated a long-term commitment to the local legal and judiciary community, including significant work in upholding and providing impartial justice for all, improving the interaction between the judiciary and the bar, improving access to law for low and moderate income litigants to come to the court system, exhibiting appropriate judicial demeanor, and improving the efficiency and the effectiveness of the court system. Judge Uhler certainly all of that. At this time, I'm going to ask Kurt Lewis from Congressman Aguilar's office to come on up. He has a presentation for Judge Uhler.
Thank you once again. Judge Uhler, we just wanted to thank you for the decades and the public service and the leadership that you provide. We know that your work on the homeless shelter and your participation in the veterans stand down has been tremendous. We do a lot of work with some of those groups, and in fact today, one of them called me when they found out I was going to be here and wanted me to make sure that we recognize what you were doing. I told them, you don't have to worry about it. She is the person we're honoring tonight. So that was the stand down folks. So they were very appreciative, and Congressman Aguilar is also appreciative of what you've done. And we want to provide you with a little token of appreciation of one of our certificates showing what you mean to us and the community. So if I may read this.
Sure. Was that Sergeant Major Booker?
It was, yes. He says his regards. So this reads that the certificate of special congressional recognition presented to the Honorable Ingrid Uhler, San Bernardino County Superior Court, in honor and recognition of your achievement of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association's 13th Annual Judicial Officer of the Year Award. May you continue to contribute to the betterment of our community by reflecting the ideals of public leadership and public service dated this 7th day of April 2022. And I think what it means is that the association chose well when they selected you as the recipient of this award. May I get to see you?
Your Honor, while you're here, we have three additional. We have a letter of congratulations from our State Senator, Dianne Feinstein. We have a proclamation from the City of Rancho Cucamonga. And a resolution by the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors honoring you for this wonderful achievement.
I'm not used to this, I'm sorry. You're welcome.
So there are two speakers tonight to talk about Judge Uhler. First is great, don't jump up here, Dave Goldstein, yet. I want to say something about you. Dave Goldstein has been working in this county as a DA, public defender, private lawyer. But one thing remains constant throughout his 40 years of being a lawyer. He's a great lawyer. He is simply one of the best and finest lawyers in the last 40 years to step foot in the courthouse in San Bernardino County. And I'm honored to be able to call him up here to talk about Judge Uhler. Dave?
Thank you for that. And thank you all for joining us here tonight. And I'd like to congratulate all the recipients on receiving these awards. It's my honor to say a couple of words on behalf of Judge Uhler. The first thing I want you all to know is the West End rules in this county. And the reason that the West End rules in this county is because we have the Judge of the Year, Ingrid Uhler. And Ingrid, I hope it's okay that I call you Ingrid. Everyone else does. You know, there's nothing like representing somebody who's in custody facing really serious charges and having them tell you, well, Ingrid says this, and Ingrid says that. And I'm thinking to myself, who's Ingrid, and why is she telling me how to do my job? Well, that's why you're Judge of the Year. And in the West End, if you walk around and you ask folks about what they think about Judge Uhler, you'll hear words like independent, hardworking, kind, empathetic, tough, as in Goldstein, don't ask that stupid question again. Easygoing, smart, sharp, hardworking. I said that before. Hardworking, fair, and ultimately, she's going to do what she thinks is right. Now, I'm glad that after I get done supervising Deputy District Attorney Joe Gaetano is here on behalf of the District Attorney's Office. Joe, I just want to let you know that last week, Judge Uhler assembled a list of 20 defendants. She needs the cases dismissed this week. Excuse me, it's 31 and a half. Don't worry, each one of them is doing a program for Judge Uhler. Please don't worry. You know, when I heard that Joe Gaetano was going to be speaking, I asked for 5 minutes of rebuttal, and Judge Uhler said no. So why is the West End so great, and why is Judge Uhler our Judge of the Year? Well, in the West End, we have a saying. It's kind of complicated. I'm going to try to get it right, but it goes something like this. When we have a defendant who's completely out of control and who's a big problem in the courtroom, we say, let's give it to Ingrid. If we have a defense attorney who's loud and obnoxious and a problem in the courtroom, we say, let's give it to Ingrid. If we have a prosecutor, I'm not talking about you guys, when we have a prosecutor who's obstreperous and difficult to deal with, we just say, let's give it to Ingrid. If we have a death penalty case that nobody can bear to look at, and it is terrible to even think about, we just say, let's give it to Ingrid. When we have a 30-day trial that's complex, and we need it done in 4 days, we just say, let's give it to Ingrid. If we have a trial that needs 2 or 3 different juries, we always give those, we say, let's give them to Ingrid. If we have hundreds of defendants that have to be arraigned during COVID, and we need somebody to go outside and do that, we just say, let's give it to Ingrid. So if we have a case with a problem defense lawyer, an obstreperous prosecutor, a bad death penalty case, complex, needs to be done in 4 days, we just say, let's give it to Ingrid. And ladies and gentlemen, for one last time, I would ask you all to once again, let's give it to Ingrid.
Where's Joe Gaetano? Yeah, do your best, buddy. Come on up. Where's your PowerPoint? Element number 1.
You know, they say don't follow Dog Axe or Dave Goldstein, so I'm already behind the 8 ball. I'm going to let you guys all know right up front, this is going to be no longer than 12 minutes because apparently I can't be this close to Mike Scafidi for more than 12 minutes or it's some kind of RICO violation. So I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. I got a text this afternoon letting me know that Jason Anderson wasn't going to be able to make it and asked me to speak. And the first thing I thought was, you know, he's the DA of the county, and he's my boss. I mean, this is a tall order to fill. And then I realized anybody who knows Jason, the first thing that comes to mind is not tall. So I felt a little videotaping. Please. That's not true because that's not true to Will Booten. He thinks Jason's tall. So, of course, I said, you know, absolutely, it would be my pleasure and honor to speak about this year's Judge of the Year, Judge Uhler. And for those of you who have appeared before her, you know what I'm talking about when I start to describe her. And those who have never appeared before her, I'm going to do the best I can to describe her. As Dave was saying, she's the most sought-after judge in the courthouse. And by that, I mean the attorneys want her to hear their case. They want to be in her courtroom. They want to try cases in front of her. And there's many reasons for that. The biggest reason that I can come up with is she has an uncanny way of putting people at ease in her courtroom. The courtroom itself is a very tense environment, and you walk into Judge Uhler's courtroom, and she just has this ability to put everybody at ease, the attorneys, the witnesses, the jurors, and she's just fantastic with the young attorneys. And an example I can give you of the way she would put the whole courtroom at ease is I was trying a case in front of her many, many years ago, and we had come back from lunch, and when we walked in, there was a vase with about 24 beautiful roses on the bench. And she had the jurors come in, and she moved those flowers over to the side, and you know, Jerry, you did a great job with the flowers, by the way. And she looked out, and the jurors are seated, and she looked right at me, and she said, Mr. Gaetano, what are you going to get your sweetheart for Valentine's Day? And the first thing that I thought was, it's Valentine's Day? And I said, well, if the court is done with those flowers, I'm thinking 24 roses. But she just has this way of making things that are very tense, very relaxed, and that's why everybody wanted to be in her courtroom. She was and is very intelligent. When you go in there, you know right away she's going to know the issues before they appear. She's going to have them researched, and she's going to rule properly on those, and you can't ask for more than that as a trial lawyer. She was prepared, understanding, and compassionate, and she had an innate ability to empathize with everyone in that courtroom. She just knew things happen in trial. If you needed to have a break, if you needed to have a day off, she just had a way of understanding and keeping things on pace, and it was very, very much appreciated. And finally, she's very, very fair. And that sounds like it's something easy, but it's really not. It's very hard-pressed to find attorneys who leave a courtroom, winners or losers, that feel they got a fair shake in that courtroom. But in Judge Uhler's courtroom, that happens every single time. You get heard, you get a fair result, and whether you win or lose, you feel like you got a fair shake in her courtroom, and that is a talent and a character trait that not a lot of people have. And her ability to make everyone feel heard and understand what her rulings were and how fair they were is something that is very, very much appreciated by all of us in the West End. And that's the real reason that everybody wants to go in front of Judge Uhler, They want to go in front of Judge Uhler because they just want fairness. And whether it's a defendant, defense attorney, prosecutor, victim, they all get the same treatment, and that's fairness. And so I am very, very happy to be one of the speakers for Judge Uhler. And with that, I will turn it over to Mike to finish it off. Are we under that 12 minutes, or do I need to hit the parking lot? All right.
So before we have Judge Uhler come up to receive this most deserved award, a couple things you need to know. First of all, for you, Joe, Will Wooten turned me on to the guy at 4th and Grove for flowers, freeway flowers. He keeps the flowers fresh in his van at the Young Young Stores parking lot. I made that up. But the next part is true. This is from Jason Anderson, who texted me, says, please say these words. I know Gaetano's going to do it, but I'm afraid he's going to mess it up. Your Honor, this is from Jason. This is an absolute horrible time to come down with stomach flu. Oh, I was supposed to say that one. Hold on, get rid of that part. I should have checked that. I admire Judge Uhler's work ethic, and no one manages a calendar like her. She knows the essence of every case, lets in relevant evidence for both sides, allows them to be advocates and adversaries. She's great at teaching young lawyers on how to do the job, but she does her best to assist and develop a better criminal justice system. I am personally gratified for her for sharing all her hockey mom secrets to help my son tremendously. And this I think is very telling. The silver lining is Jerry, an unbelievable solid guy who anyone can imagine Ingrid is as tough as nails. Thank you, Judge Uhler. It will be impossible to ever replace you as a bench officer. I'm a better man and lawyer because of you. Our regional practice is better because of you, and our community is safer. That's from our District Attorney, Jason. So, Joe, as your boss's boss, wanted me to make sure you didn't mess it up. At this time, it's my great honor, truly great honor, to ask Judge Uhler to come on up to receive her award.
Well, I think for 26 years you've been trying to get me up here, so I heard. So you finally did. I don't do bar events, and this is my only dress. So if you come next month, it's the same dress. I want to thank Dave Goldstein for the introduction, and thank you so much for not getting the stomach flu. And I know Jason did get the stomach flu at the last minute, so I really appreciate Joe Gaetano standing in for him. He's a great person. He does a lot with me in the court, and I really appreciate that he got up here and spoke on my behalf. What I did today, true story, is that I actually emailed the Western Bar Association to ask if the Lifetime Achievement Award could go last, and then I could go first. I thought, he's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I'm just the judge of the year. And he certainly should be getting that award. And I thought, okay, if I go first, then I can go back to my table, I can enjoy my friends, I can drink some wine, and I wouldn't be so nervous being up here because I'm not really good at public speaking. I know that sounds strange, but this is not my venue. And I think I'm supposed to blame Judge Rogan, where are you? Because somebody said that she's the one that recommended me, which I'm very surprised because not too long ago, before she became the assistant presiding judge, I was going to get my 25-year PIN. I've actually been a judge for 26 years.
and she had to lie to me to get my pin. She said it was a mandatory meeting. I think like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be there, I'm trying to talk her out of it and say, no, I don't need to do this meeting. I want to go work out because you have to come to this meeting. It's mandatory. So I go in there and everybody was there for me to give the 25-year pin. So then I heard that she's actually been doing a lot of things behind the scenes for me, so I really appreciate it. Okay? So, unlike Judge Harrison, this is going to be all about me, kind of. I did have an opportunity to work with Judge Harrison in Fontana. He was an amazing supervisor. We were all afraid of him. It was supposedly that he was going to be horrible and mean and make us work too hard, but he was just wonderful to work with, and I really appreciate my time with him. Okay? So I wrote out my speech so I don't screw up. Okay? So bear with me. And it's not going to take too long. It's only about 50 pages long. Those that know me on a personal level know that I'm not a fan of public speaking or accepting awards. I know that sounds strange coming from a former prosecutor and trial judge, but I only feel comfortable in my own world, the courtroom. But I am very honored to be before you all and incredibly humbled by your attendance, your support, your friendship, and of course this amazing award. I just wanted to take the time to describe how I got here and some of the events that stick out the most in my mind over a very long career, as I think I'm second on the seniority list. So I only have one person ahead of me in terms of the seniority list. After hearing my story, I think it will be obvious that none of you should ever give up hope to achieve your dreams, and that all it takes is hard work, some luck, and trust in providence or God or fate, whatever you believe in. I will start out with my decision to go to law school. Yes, I'm going to go back that far, in 1979. We all have to go through that one bad relationship that I had. I had mine while attending ASU. By my 4th year, my father was so frustrated by that relationship that he gave me an ultimatum. Either stay with my boyfriend in a dead-end relationship or let him help me attend law school, and one law school only, that's the only one he was going to send me to, the University of Arizona College of Law. I ultimately came to my senses and took my dad's offer. And I have to tell all of you that have these tremendous loans that you're paying off for your law school, my tuition was $450 a year. Prior to my 3rd year in law school, I met an exceptional man who this time was loved by my entire family, my husband Jerry. So at that time he was with the Secret Service. Long story short, I met him at the Century Plaza Hotel pool. I'm not going to tell you why I was there. And from that one encounter, we have now been married 39 years. He was able to get a transfer to LA so he could be closer to me during my final year in law school. After seeing him drive over 400 miles one way to come see me every weekend, I realized I would never find someone that loves me as much as he did, and without any hesitation, I married him in 1983. So that's what made me come to California, was my marriage to him, because otherwise I'd still be in Arizona. Mind you, while in law school, I avoided any and all classes involving public speaking, because I was just so shy, so I'm not sure how and why I was hired and became a prosecutor. I have to admit that I probably was the worst ever to be hired by the LA County DA's office. I came home every night and cried, because I was so bad in what I was doing in my trials. And had it not been for a wonderful supervisor, a patient judge, and she's not here, and that's why I stood up looking for her. Her name was Martha Bellinger, and she was a former pastor. She came to West Covina as a trial lawyer, and she was able to preach to the jurors and get guilty verdicts on every single case. No matter what they threw at her, she got a guilty verdict because she was such a great preacher. So I was able to watch her and learn from her. So I would have probably been transferred to the dreaded child support division within the year, but through practice and hard work, I grew as a trial attorney and spent 11 years trying a vast array of cases, mostly in Pomona Superior Court, and at that time, Judge Grogan actually was a sergeant of Pomona PD. So that's how far we go back. And after being with her the last year or two, we actually have the same birthday, July 15th. So At the recommendation of the judges in Pomona, I submitted my application to become a judge around 1992, and with it, a letter of recommendation signed by all of them. Except filling out the application, submitting the letter, and going through the Jenny Commission, I forgot all about the application because I became pregnant. I had my first son, Jared, in 1994, and I had the pleasure of job sharing with Karen Goldstein, which was the most wonderful experience. We had the same days off, so we could go to Disneyland, the zoos, parks, travel together with our children. I loved every minute of it. I never, ever expected to get a call from the appointment secretary. At that time was John Davies, and he actually called me, his secretary called me and said they wanted me to immediately come to Sacramento for an interview. And I turned it down. I said, I can't go to Sacramento because Jerry was in the Secret Service. He was out of town at the time, and I had my infant son and I didn't have a babysitter. So I definitely thought that was the end of my chances to become a judge, and I was fine with that because I had Karen, and I was job sharing, and I loved every minute of it. And then a few days later, I get a call saying, Mr. Davies is going to meet with me in San Diego at his law firm. Is that okay? And I said, well, that'd be great. So when my husband gets back in town, I'm going to take him and my son. We can go to the San Diego Zoo after the interview. So when I met Mr. Davies, he hit me with several problems that I had. I only had one letter recommendation and not dozens. But my response to that was, it's a damn good letter. I was a carpetbagger since I worked in LA County, and I should move there. I declined and said that I love my home in Upland too much, and I'm in the same home to this day. He said I didn't know anyone political, which was true, but I did tell him that I was a responsible voter. We talked about everything under the sun but the law. My many party days at ASU, my miracle baby, Jared, his son's infertility that I went through, boxer shorts and hot tubs. At the end, I walked right out of the door and thought, no way, no how will I become a judge. I even was tempted to call him the next day and ask him to just take my name off the list because, again, what was I? I was happy job sharing with Karen. But after weighing the pros and cons of a judicial appointment, I realized I couldn't pass up what turned out to be the greatest job in the world. It's been wonderful. So I've had 26 plus years of amazing experiences, friendships, and opportunities. I've done hundreds of trials, from selling perfume in a parking lot to death penalties. I've heard every excuse and defense. One that stands out in my mind is when a defendant committed some very, very violent offenses. He got up on the witness stand and he told the jury, I just had a very bad day. That very bad day led to a life in prison. Or, I know you're going to be grossed out about this, and I'm sorry, but I had one trial that the defense attorney argued that the sticky substance on the defendant's hands and pants wasn't semen, but the cream in the middle of Oreo cookies. Sorry for just ruining your Oreo cookies for the rest of your life. I haven't had one since either. Michelle Daly will remember this one. I did a homicide trial in which the scorned wife left yellow Post-its in her purse, detailing how she planned to murder her husband. On one, she explained she would have her cohort's baby if he killed her husband for her. She claimed that Post-its were just a form of venting, which obviously the jury didn't believe, and that was Michelle Daly's case. For my first death penalty case, when I granted Mr. Negas's motion to put a giant box on the fallen officer statue in the courthouse lobby because the victim's name was on the memorial, I got some very ugly editorials at a time when newspapers mattered. I've had jurors send me kind letters after trials, bring me flowers, food, and stuffed animals. And one juror even made me a wooden chair for my young son. I was the first ever pregnant judge in San Bernardino County's history. The boxer shorts did work after all. While assigned to Fontana, Sharon Stone walked into my court, and despite her efforts to have me recognize her, I got her confused initially with a law clerk, then Glenn Close. In my defense, she didn't look like she did in Basic Instincts. And who would expect Sharon Stone to be at Fontana Superior Court? She was not happy and extremely offended by me. The next day, the Fontana judges all got gift baskets from her except me. And Judge Moore couldn't resist leaving me an AARP magazine on my desk the next day with Sharon Stone's picture on the cover that I still have today. I have rescued cats, dogs, and the occasional baby bird while at work. Many a time in Fontana, when Mary Davis came to visit, she would try to ignore the barking that was coming from my chambers. Judge Harrison accused me of stealing cats off the streets. I've done homeless court, mental health court, and the stand-down veterans events, always with the support of the court and my tremendous staff. For the past 2 years, I've been doing an outdoor court created by Judge Rogan due to the pandemic, during which we have faced high winds, rain, cold, heat, sprinklers, bird mites, skunks, possums, a coyote, noise from garbage trucks, planes, helicopters, leaf blowers, cars, motorcycles, and generators. And just recently, I've become a TikTok sensation, so I've heard, because of my outdoor court. I've worked with amazing judges, staff, and personnel, too many to mention, who guided me, taught me to be patient, and always made themselves available to me in any way that they could. I love sharing milestones with everyone: marriages, births, adoptions, new puppies, new kittens, graduations, and new careers. I'm still waiting, however, for Judge Moore, Justin Crocker, to find that perfect match. I witnessed and felt heartbreak when we lost Joe Canty, Richard Maxwell, Rick Young, Lyle Scollin, David Carlson, David Durdines, Paula Martinez, Namisha Gohill, Jennifer Brooks, Gabby Martin, Greg Manson, and my first mentor, Judge Welch, Judge Cookie McPeters, Judge Wade, Judge Kayashima, Judge Nakata, Judge Fettel, and unfortunately many more. I also grieved and still grieve when Judge Labuti and Judge Ferguson lost their sons, Nick and Cole, who we will never forget. I don't do meetings or lunches, preferring to work out during my lunch break. I am known for being chatty during jury selection. Sometimes I wish I didn't say what I said, like telling the father of 10 children that I know exactly what he enjoys doing in his spare time. And I cringe to think what the Court of Appeals thinks about me. I've been able to perform marriages. The most important successful one was the marriage between my favorite court interpreter, Jetty, and her husband, John Bullware. I have seen over these 26 years so many tremendous swings in the law. When I was first a judge, 3 strikers could get 25 years to life for possession of heroin. Now I tell them to do 10 A meetings to earn a dismissal. And finally, I probably will now be known for the judge that wears Chuck Taylors. All these memories over a very long and wonderful career brought me growth, laughter, and some tears, but they all will be remembered because I've been blessed to be surrounded by the best in colleagues, staff, court employees, and attorneys. I am very grateful to say that every day I come to work, not because I have to, because I want to. So I want to say that I'm very honored to be here tonight, and I thank the Western Bar Association for selecting me as the Judge of the Year. I want to thank my family, who unfortunately could not be here for different reasons. My mom, who hopefully is listening to me from heaven. My 97-year-old dad, who is still alive and amazing. They were the 2 that instilled the importance of a strong work ethic and to be respectful of everyone. My 2 brothers, Harold and Richard, and my sister Iris, who always took care of their baby sister and still do. And finally, my husband Jerry, who is my rock and the love of my life. My 2 miracle sons, Jared and Lucas, who also couldn't be here tonight, but also were so proud of me, as I'm so very proud of them. Not once did they complain that they felt my work was interfering with being their mother. I'm definitely a better person, a more compassionate person, and more understanding person, all because of my family. I also have with me here today a very dear friend, Aurora, who I met in church. She has brought so much grace and peace into my life, although I definitely am a lot poorer because our favorite thing to do together is shop. I have always been blessed with the best staff over the years. Denise Lopez is my administrative assistant and is equal to Kate Lewis. And if you know Kate Lewis, that's saying a lot in her abilities. She corrects my letters better than auto check, keeps me on task, reminds me when I'm on call, and brings joy to my life by telling stories about her family. I feel like I know her daughters and her grandchildren, even though I have never met them. My first judicial assistant was Jane Van Nordstrom. For those who have been around for a while, I think you would all agree that she was extremely loyal and protective of me, but she could be somewhat prickly. She was very difficult to approach. She was with me for over 11 years, and following her retirement, I firmly believe that God awarded me by then giving me the two best judicial assistants in this county, Violet Martinez and Mary Flores. And I do understand, Judge Harrison, you felt like that for years as well. Both are amazing, approachable, calm, friendly, and so knowledgeable. I joke about it all the time, but I really believe that I could put my robe on either one of them and no one would know the difference. They have saved me so many times from making mistakes. They never have turned down work. They have never lost patience with me, other staff members, attorneys, or defendants. When Violet left me to work part-time, I was crushed. But then walked in Mary, who replaced Violet with the same work ethic, the same proficiency, and the same wonderful personality. I also was assigned the best in bailiffs, deputies Jack Childs, father and son team, Bill and John Rodriguez. That's how old I am. I've had the son, the father. Alec Ruiz and Kimmy Alexander couldn't be here today, but everyone adores Kimmy. Then I have a former court reporter, Debbie Godinez. She unfortunately could not be here as well. Her mother just died not too long ago. But not only was she my court reporter, she still is my BFFL, best friend for life. And now I have Amy Medrano, who never complains about how fast I talk, makes a flawless record, and shares wonderful stories about her partner Sarah, her son Dylan, and her daughter Bree. All judges say they have the best in staffs, but I know I truly have had and do have the best. They have protected me, cleaned up my mistakes, kept me from getting black robitis, and are not just my working partners, but my family. I'm very thankful that they made my department so accessible, friendly, and stress-free. Finally, I want to say that I had the best supervisors, especially Judge Welch, Judge Brown, Judge Harrison, Judge Ubuno, Judge Rogan, and Judge Ferguson. They all, in one way or another, helped me grow as a judge and always trusted me in making the right decisions. All of you, all of the judges here that I've had the privilege to work with, have been there for me by spending countless amount of hours in discussing the issues before me so that I could be confident in making the right and my own decisions. You have given me such great advice, whether professionally or personally, making me the person I am today, and I should be sharing this award with all of you. All of you are the Judge of the Year in my heart and in my mind. And of course, all the attorneys that I've worked with, prosecutors, public defenders, conflict panel, private counsel, I respect each of you so much. I look up to you as much as you've looked up to me, at least I hope you have. You all made sure that I follow the law to the best of my ability. You taught me how to not postpone decisions, to work hard, and always have shown me such respect and patience while I've been on the bench. So because of all of you, it's been quite a journey that will end in a year, but it has been one of the best journeys of my life. So thank you for giving me this wonderful award. Again, this is the only reason I'm here, is because you're giving me this award. As you know, I don't do bar events. I have another one coming in, I think it's May. And thank you again, Judge Rogan. It's obviously very prestigious and very honored that I'm getting these awards after all this time. But I am who I am because of all of you. So thank you so much for being here.
So if you want to see the second act in May, Judge Uhler is going to be the recipient of the Seminary County Bar Association Kaufman Campbell Award. That is truly also a Lifetime Achievement Award. She'll be the first woman judge to receive both the Coffee Campbell, and our Judge of the Year. So we're almost done. I do have a couple announcements. First of all, the flowers that were on the table, there's a ticket underneath the chair. If you have that, you can take home those flowers. You can find flowers like that at O'Malley's Flowers in San Dimas, immediately located at 169 West Bonita Avenue, San Dimas, California, 91773. You can find them online also. Ask for my guy Chuck. We have two events we'd like to tell you about. April 13th, State of the Court MCLE, very important, Zoom. And June 23rd, East West Barbecue. That's going to be at Tony Sears' Ranch in Azusa. And finally, some thank yous to our Executive Director, Lindsay Parsons. Thank you. Dean McVeigh, the head of our committee that's put this together. The Board of Directors of the Bar Association. And finally, to my wife, Darlene, who helped design the flowers and has been put up married with me for 43 years, or as she says, it seems a lot longer. Thank you, and have a good night and drive home safe.